Hello, Cherries. Welcome to Live Cherry Sunday, Special Monday, episode 186. And in today's video, I'm going to show you 3 ways to solo over a 1-chord minor vamp. And this is going to be really fun because it's pretty simple. But there's a few ways that we can get into this. We're going to be doing an E minor, and we got this one E minor chord like this. It's real open sounding. It's a backing track here that I just created on my loop. It's not really a backing track, but it's a loop right here I created on my RC5, just over a straight E minor chord. I'm going to show you 3 ways that you could improvise over it, using the minor pentatonic as one way, and then incorporating some scale ideas in there and some arpeggios. So it's 3 simple things that we're going to do. And say hello to my friend here in chat, Paul Mero. Beer. Enough said. Right there. Drink a beer. And I do have my coffee right here. Take a little swig of that. So let me give you a little example here of what we'll be doing here today. I got my backing track, loop. Sounds like this. Let me know if you can hear everything okay. Got my guitar here. So if you're enjoying that, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. I go live every Sunday, except when I don't, which is today on Monday. So hello. Some people here in the chat. Billy, Bully, give you a round of applause. Paul Merrill says, hit that like B button. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Thank you, Paul. I don't see the like button. What do you mean you don't see the like button? There's a like button somewhere over there. I can guarantee you that. All right, Jerry. Can you do a video on Southern rock tone in the near future? Wow, a video on Southern rock tone. That'd be cool. Southern rock tone. I think I kind of got a Southern rock tone right now. It's very, well, at least with, I got a little, doing something a little different. I'm on my middle pickup today, which I rarely ever do. But, for the clean, I usually use, you know, this position right here between the bridge and the middle. Gives you like that, which I really love, that quacky sound. You know? I love that sound, but I'm using this one. It's a little warmer today. Loving that sound. And then I have my blues driver on, which is like, so I usually use that for this crunchy sound. You know? But I have it more here in the middle position. So it's not so metal, but it's a little bit more warmer. And some delay. Hear the delay? So, not so much a southern rock sound, but you got like the Skinner. That would be more like a, you know, like quacky sound. But anyway, something like that. Hello, guitar bass dude. Good to see you. Give you a round of applause. All right, thanks for spending a little time here with me today. I'm gonna get right into this. I got this little loop going on here. It's just an E minor. It's pretty open sounding. Just hitting that E minor chord. Something like this. So there's a lot you could do right there over that one E minor chord. And for the most part, you could just play the E minor pentatonic scale over that, you know, just kind of ripping out on. Which is, you know, the most fun part you could do, right? It's just easy to do, it's fun. You know, the trick is to try to be melodic in some way, and then also play everywhere, not just in this one position. But kind of move it down. You know, up here. Play it everywhere. So moving that around is really, really cool to do. Thinking about melody, thinking about having a conversation like I am with you, right now. You know, start off with one lick, then answer it with another. Do another one. It's like, kind of like a call and response type of thing. I'm calling, answering, calling, answering. Over minor blues. Really got to keep that in mind. We're not bending up the third to a major note. Keep it at minor. All right. So if any questions about any of this stuff so far, let me know. Give you all a round of applause for hanging out, listening. So the next part of this, because there are three. I did promise three different ways. And if you stick around to the end, I'll give you an extra little bonus one too. So the second way would be to play a scale, not just the minor pentatonic scale, but play the I would say the D scale, D major scale. Because right now we're playing E minor pentatonic, right? But really, in this case, we're in the key of D. Crazy, huh? So D major. So if I play a D major scale over this E minor, look what you get here. Sounds right? It sounds exactly like what we've been playing. So if I played that D major scale from the E to the E, it's like this. Essentially, what that is that's the E Dorian scale. Because we're in the key of D and we're playing the notes from E to E. But you don't necessarily have to think of the D, because you know, you've probably played the scale a million times. It's like the E minor pentatonic scale. We're just adding in the notes of the E Dorian scale. Which is basically the D major scale, but from E to E. It's a mode, the D Dorian. And it's very, very popular mode in playing rock and roll and blues. A lot more so than playing like the natural minor scale, which would be like, which would sound like this. So it's quite different of a sound. I hope that you could hear the difference between the minor, natural minor, and the Dorian. And the only thing is just one note, and that's the 6th degree right here. Here's the Dorian. And here's the natural minor. So you have the minor 6, and in Dorian you have a major 6. Which gives you that lift, and that's what this rock sound is all about, is that lift. So essentially, it's the D major scale, but it's from E to E. And I said that probably 3 or 4 times already. But it's very useful. Hey, from Maryland, Chesapeake Bay. Maryland's Chesapeake Bay. Hello, Aaron P. from Maryland's Chesapeake Bay. I love it out there in Maryland. Very, very cool place. Did I say hi to my guitar bass dude? That's right. Yeah, I did say. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me on a Monday for a little bit here today. And thanks for telling me where you come from, Maryland. Aaron from Maryland. That's really, really cool. Anybody else out there want to tell me where they're from so that I can, if you say something I don't like, I can come stalk you. I come find you. No, I'm just kidding. So the scale in there is really cool to not. That's the parent scale. That D right there, by the way. And what are you drinking out there today? We already know Paul. He's drinking beer. You know, he is drinking beer. I know it's beer o'clock somewhere. I got my Jerry Cherry mug because, you know, everything tastes better in a Jerry Cherry mug. Guitar bass dude from Stockholm, Sweden. I think you've told me that. That's right. You've been here before. Stockholm, Sweden. You know I play. I've told you that too. And in an ABBA band, which members are from Sweden, believe it or not. Direct from Sweden, the music of ABBA. You might even know them. Great band. Great people. A little grungy today. Playing little grungy sounds. But very cool. So, yeah, that D major scale. And even if you think of the D major while you're playing over that vamp, you know, and by the way, if you want a backing track of this, I'm going to create one. I was supposed to do that already for someone else who's been very patiently waiting for the E minor backing track, but I have plenty of time now that I got some time to actually make the backing track. So if you want that, email me at info@jerrycherry, and I'm going to make a professional backing track with drums, bass, and guitar. I'll send that over to you sometime today or tomorrow. And if you're watching in the future, I'll send it to you right away. But definitely want to do that for you. You got some wine? Some Stockholm wine? All right. Sounds amazing. Because it is the evening over there, right? You're like 5 or 6 hours ahead. Something like that. Mountain Dew, Billy. Yeah, I love that. I grew up on those Mountain Dews. Those are good. It's like, I don't know how good they are for you, but they're good. But everything in moderation, right? Just like these scales here. What a segue, right? Hello, Les from Utah. Oh, wow. You know, I'm going to be in Utah. Be a round of applause. I'm going to be in Utah on Thursday, actually. On Thursday at the, where's it going to be Thursday? I'll tell you right now. On Thursday, I'm playing with the ABBA band at the Sandy Amphitheater in Sandy, Utah. You know anything about Sandy, Utah? From St. George, Utah? How about Sandy, Utah? Just stopped in to say hi. Hello, Ozman. Thanks for stopping in to say hello. Hello. That's like hi and hello at the same time, by the way. All right. So let's get into this here. And D major scale over the E. It doesn't matter how you play it, really. You know, put on a closer look. It doesn't matter how you play the D major scale. That's really the first way I learned how to play D major scale. It's like this. We can play 3 notes per string. And look, this 3 notes per string way. Put you right in a good position over the E, where the E box 1 pentatonic position is. So if you're playing that pentatonic scale, you just play the D major scale going down. Here's the D right here, D major. That's Do, Re, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. Right over the E, inside the E box. it's really like a 2 chord right here. Some Skinnerd. This is about as much as I can give you right there from Skinnerd right now, without getting copyright claims. All right? Like this would be the sound right here, kind of. Something like that, right? So, all right, getting back into this, the D major scale. But I'm focusing on the E part of it. Like here's the loop, here's the backing track. Now you play that D major scale. Same thing, I'm playing the D major scale here. There are some notes that you could actually land on. And these are all nice notes right here. And you have the C sharp, which is the 6th of E minor. You have the D, which is it will be the 7th degree of the minor, right here. And of course the E. So there are certain notes in here that you could actually land on and sit on, and they sound good. Like the D, the C sharp. That was a minor third bend, bending the E to a G. So we're gonna go to the third way of jamming out to these to this 1 chord vamp. It's real cool, like playing just a 1 chord vamp. It's just really simple. It's a good way to learn how to play over 1 chord, so that when you do have 2 chords or 3 chords, you'll be able to kind of break it down a little bit easier instead of having to play, say, 1 chord here. You do a progression like that, and you can play the same thing over there. Something like that. You can play the same progression. But we're breaking down over just 1 chord for right now for today. any questions about any of this stuff, let me know. But we're going to get into the third and the coolest, one of the coolest ways to break out of this pentatonic thing, and that's to play some arpeggios. And the way that we're going to play arpeggios is that based on the key that we're in right now, we're in the key of D that we've already discussed, right? So in the key of D, which is the parent key, you think of what's the 1, 4, 5 in D? So you have D, E, F, G, A. Okay, so you have D, E, F, G. You have the G and you have the A. So the 1, 4, 5 would be D, G, and A. In there. 1, 4, 5. And back to the Leonard Skinner thing. We said there's a 1, 4, 5 in Leonard Skinner, which is basically 5. Right? That's some Skinner, right? Amongst other things, right? Something like that. That's like, I done played that. Something like that. I've played it a million times. So we got the 1, 4, 5. But we're still in E minor. So that's the 2 chord. It's always been the 2 chord in this case. 1 chord, 2 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord. But we could take all those 3 major chords, the parent chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord, and we could play arpeggios from those chords. And that's what I was doing a little bit earlier in the first opening jam. I was playing the D. I was playing a D arpeggio. Back to the E. So you could do stuff like that where it sounds like this. Go back to the E to resolve to D. Although D sounds good to stay on. Play the 7th because the D is the 1 chord. There's a major, just to take it one level higher, the D has a 7th, a major 7th, which would sound like that extra note in there. So it would sound like this. Hit that F by accident. They say when you hit one bad note, right? Play it again so that it seems like you did it on purpose. Who was that said that? John Van Halen. You hear that story a lot in the Van Halen stories. His father said, if you make a mistake, do it again. So it sounds like you meant it, right? That's what I just did. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. You are the king. So we're going to get into some stuff right here that Eddie Van Halen, believe it or not, actually uses a lot of this approach right here, believe it or not. I'll try to explain how that works as well. Ghost of Peter Steele. Good to see you. Enjoying from afar. Try, where are you watching from? Again, I know I asked you that, but it takes me like 3 years before things sink in, so please let me know again. Ghost of Peter Steele. Which I'm learning a lot more about Peter Steele since I've met you. Very, very interesting fellow. Interesting fellow. I think he's still around, right? Peter Steele? I hate to even bring that up, but you never know today. Rock and roll and today, crazy things have happened. Oh, from Chicago. So that's far, but not so far. We have people from Sweden here today. You know. We've got Chesapeake Bay. We've got what's my friend from Sweden in here? And here it is. Guitar bass dude from Sweden. So that's far. Chicago's pretty far too. Actually, I was just yesterday, I was in Iowa. Here I'm in New York. I'm in Brooklyn, New York right now, but I did a one-off gig yesterday in Iowa and Altoona. So we landed in Des Moines and drove about 25 minutes from the airport, Altoona at Adventureland. It's a legendary theme park out there in Altoona, and we played the concert series out there. And Rock of Ages will be there this coming week. I wonder if my friend Joel Hoekstra is going to be there with Rock of Ages. I don't know if you know Joel, but he's fantastic, amazing guitar player, Joel Hoekstra. I was lucky enough to take 2 guitar lessons from him, and really, really learned a lot in those 2 lessons. The Trooper, Iron Maiden. I can't play this stuff because I'll get copyright streams, copyright claims, but it's something like something like that, right? If I do it like really different, then there's a something like that. Where were we? 3 W's. That's a WWW. Where were we? I was saying that you have 3 major chords over that E vamp here, right? So you could kind of blend in those 3 arpeggios. The G arpeggio, A arpeggio, D arpeggio, even the E minor arpeggio. And incorporate them into the jam, into this progression. So just played in there the low E string, okay. Play the little Maiden. Something like that. Kind of fun way to play all my Iron Maiden songs over E vamps. myself here. Back to the crypt for me. I love that. All right. Well, so good to see you always. Eisenkeller. Hey, Mr. Cherry. Hope you're doing well. Yep. Give you a round of applause. I am doing well. Hopefully you're doing well as well. And let's see. Love it, Jerry. I like the arpeggio approach in your solos. 118 here in Phoenix today. I was just going to say it's a little warm, even though I got the air conditioner on. You know, playing, trying to improv. It gets you a little heated up. I like the arpeggio approach in your solos. 118 here in Phoenix today. So I'll have plenty of practice time. All right, that's great. And hopefully you could use some of this stuff to practice. I'm going to give you one last idea here. And it's basically, it's mixing the arpeggio triads here. I'm trying to keep the arpeggios to just strict arpeggios and not as much seventh arpeggios, because that makes things a little bit stranger, which you can get into a little bit later, but I think it's probably better just to keep it straight arpeggios for right now. And then we'll do this thing that I came up with. I named it's called the Triad, succession, which is kind of like this. Check this out so you can see a little bit better. You're like maybe wondering, well, what is the difference between playing these arpeggios and then just playing the notes in E? Well, if you're in E and you play these arpeggios, you play the D arpeggio here. If you play the G arpeggio, it's really the same notes as if you're playing, an E. You have the G, which is the third. You have the B, which is the... Now, as I play this G major arpeggio, I'm thinking of what the intervals are over the E chord that we're going to be looping over. So not necessarily over the G. This G is the third of E. The B, so these are the notes of the G arpeggio. So how do these notes relate to the E minor? E. Okay, the G is the third, the B is the fifth, the D is the seventh, and back to the G again. So right now over this, you play a G arpeggio, and you have a third, fifth, seventh of this E chord. And once again, you have the same thing again. So it sounds like this. I say, well, what's the point of that? Well, the notes are all they're in succession of a certain order that you wouldn't necessarily do. If you were playing the E arpeggio, you would have the root. Okay, you don't have that in that G arpeggio. You don't have the E note in there. The third, yeah, you do. You have that in there. And you have the seventh in there. I mean the fifth, the B. So there's one note different in this E minor arpeggio. Then you have the G. What is that note? Well, it's the D note. So the fact that you can play these in succession is really cool. And do things that are like over the E, which is interesting trick to do. Check it out, you can go something like just play that G arpeggio. And that's something new, takes you out of the box. G arpeggio again. Play in different places. So, pretty cool right there. And that's just the one arpeggio. It didn't even go to A yet, which makes it really cool. Finney says they all connect, which is cool. Yeah. And then you can go do the same licks in A. Over this riff right here. I'm trying to make sense of it and then kind of land on the notes, the target tones of A as well. So here's the A arpeggio right there. Check it out. You know, and what's really cool about this is think of the note like we did in G. How do the notes of the A major arpeggio relate to E? Well, A, there's a different note right there. That's the 4th degree. A is the 4th. The next note, C sharp. That's the 6th. That's what gives it that Dorian sound, that major 6. So you have that note. Here's the E. So now you have 2 notes that are different. And in succession, they sound pretty cool because you could play those notes. So you're doing 2 notes that aren't really in the normal framework. And if you're enjoying this video so far, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. A, 2 notes right there that aren't necessarily in that minor pentatonic. Right here. The only one that's in there is the E. But you can play this arpeggio here too. Can you hit that? Like this. Here's the A, then the C sharp. So it sounds over this track. So I just mixed it up a little bit. Playing the A, I don't know how good it sounds or not. I will know later. But it's just something to break out of the box here. Playing the A minor arpeggio over that E. And I did some chromatic things in between positions I already know. Like I play this all the time, so I'm kind of familiar with it. Like if you look at this arpeggio shape, the A, the 3rd, the 5th. Sounds a little Dire Straits, this, right? A little hybrid action going. And a little minor pentatonic riff or two. So, all right, now here's one last thing, one bonus round. And this is pretty cool. It's kind of hard to do, but it's really, really fun. And it's how I think like Eddie Van Halen picked up some things, like, you know, when he does his say he's playing like Eruption, right? When he's playing so these are just triads as well. They're mixing triads right here, where he's doing something like, what was it? That's it's a C sharp minor triad. If you look at it, the way it's broken down, C sharp, the minor, and the fifth. Now he's hitting the next one, the minor sixth of the triad. That could be like a diminished triad right there. Here's a triad right here, major, E major triad. And he goes up there. So that's another triad of the B flat, probably right there. Here's another one, here's the minor triad, a F sharp minor triad. In fact, to an E triad, E major triad. Because you have the E, the fifth, the third, and the fifth. So he's moving through triads. That's really, I'm not trying to break down Eddie Van Halen's style and playing at all right here. But if you really kind of look at those taps, he's mixing different triads together, and that's essentially kind of what we're doing here. What we're trying to do, we're mixing these G major triads. Like we're doing some kind of tap thing right here. Look, you could do this. Take that same approach and kind of go back to the E. Something like that, right? So mixing them up together is kind of a cool thing, and I'll try to do something like, you know, if we're playing E right here, check this out. Do like the E triad right here, E, to a G triad, back to an E triad, back to a G triad, E triad, G, E, G, E, next, G. It's hard to do. To E, G. So mixing up the triads together give it a pretty cool flavor too. Something with the loop to be something like even play B minor. B minor arpeggio. All right. Went off the deep end a little bit at the end there. Robert R. All right, darn, missed it. That's okay. You could always go back, watch it again. It'll be here forever. It's evergreen. They call it evergreen content. Why is it evergreen? Because it's evergreen. No, I think there's a tree, the evergreen tree. It never turns from being green. It's always green. So it's always going to be green. It's never going to change. It'll always be there. It'll be green. It'll be fresh, hopefully. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for spending some time here with me here today. If you want to go deeper with me on some stuff, you know, I do have a guitar course. I'll show you what it's called, Essential Skills Collection for Guitar. And I'm actually in the process of updating it. I'm adding a couple more videos to it. And if you already got the course, it's only $9.99 for the course. You'll get all the new updates and all the new videos included. You'll never have to pay another penny for it. But, you know, I focus on fretboard memorization, which is cool to learn the notes all over the neck. I go over the circle of fifths, which shows you the chords in every key, which is very useful to know. And then I go over some blues stuff, which is very important because that's where your soul and feel come from. I have backing tracks and graphs and everything. And I really talk about vibrato. And bending. You know, all the stuff that's really important, the most important stuff, the essential skills. So check that out in my description. I would really appreciate that. And thank you guys for hanging out with me. It's really cool, especially on a Monday. I will see you next week. I'll just verify if I will be home for that next Sunday. And I will. I will be back on Sunday on the 14th for next week there. So thank you, Robert and Finney. It's hot in Phoenix. It's hot in Phoenix. I see that, Finney. Eisen Keller, Ghost, Peter Steele, all you guys for hanging out with me today. All right. Also, the Louis String talking about the Charlie Good hitting some. You sound like you're from England there, Guitarist Life. And it's really cool. I love me some Maiden. That was one of my favorite bands growing up, for sure. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody, for spending some time here, popping in here for a little bit or spending a good amount of time here with me. I love yous. And remember, be cool, be kind, be cherry. I'm going to put another video up right here that's relates to what we did today. I don't know what it will be yet, but hopefully it'll be something relatable. So check that out. I love it. And I'll see you in the next one. And have a great rest of the day. Love you guys. Later. Peace. Rock on. Play that guitar. Talk soon.